believe that. If you ever want a professional broadcasting service, come to me, because I can run the shortest and most pippy broadcast and have the most amazing people on for all 0.3 milliseconds. Hello, everyone. My name is Max McGillivray from Beanstalk Global. We're live with the fantastic and eclectic team, all about FRESHPPACT. And today's mission is we're doing a dedicated Q&A session about FRESHPPACT with our experts from the University of Northampton and with Denzel from Blue Skies. Everyone, just say hello. Should we go for a collective hello? Because as it's Friday afternoon, should we after 3? Let's go for a collective hello. See how it goes. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Hello. Oh, that worked really well. Okay, so especially for those people on the podcast, let me just give a really good understanding as to FRESHPPACT. Then we're just going to go back in time and talk about our trip to Ghana, and also how FRESHPPACT was created, where it is today, and where we're all looking to take it forward in the future. So FRESHPPACT, define the problem, discover the solution, change the world. Today, as I said, is our dedicated Q&A session with the expert. The Fresh Produce Impact Hub, known as FRESHPPACT, collaborates with retailers, manufacturers, and agri-businesses operating within food supply chains rooted in developing emerging economies to identify shared high-priority social and environmental challenges, and they work with research partners to accelerate the adoption of the most promising solutions through a process of rapid evaluation, testing, and adoption. Right now, they're looking for solutions that can mitigate pollution caused by plastic used in agricultural mulch, workwear, and packaging. They have launched 3 calls for proposals with over £900,000. Just going to say that again, with over £900,000 worth of funding on offer for 3 or more solutions that they can test, commercialize, and scale up. Can you help them find scalable, commercial, viable, game-changing solutions that are on the verge of discovery? Help us define the problem, discover the solution, and change the world. We go live today on a full Q&A basis to talk to key representatives of Blue Skies and the University of Northampton for sustainable business practices about this next and very exciting step for FRESHPPACT. Simon, over to you. Denzel, over to you. Just give us a bit more of an understanding as to FRESHPPACT, as to how it's created, where it is today, and where you wanted to go to be in the future. Over to you, Denzel.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Max. Yeah, well, with FRESHPPACT, we are, excuse me, we want to do exactly as you've said. We want to define the problem, discover the solution, and change the world. And really, it's come about because there are such big challenges out there, whether it's to do with, obviously, plastics, whether it's to do with climate change or biodiversity loss or issues around human rights. There's huge challenges that we as a planet need to face up to and be able to solve. And of course, within our industry, we need to take our responsibility as well. But these are too big challenges for any one organization to be able to tackle themselves. So we have to be able to work together. And we've got to leverage the skills, the talents, the knowledge that is within our industry, but also, of course, partner the experts, join those dots between ourselves and the experts, whether it be in the academic community, whether it be entrepreneurs, innovators, established businesses that might just have the answer to be able to solve the solution. But we've got to be able to do this together. And that's where FRESHPPACT has come about. We launched it in January this year, and the first phase was all about developing the operating model, working out how do we make this work, what's the process for identifying those solutions, and then how do we go to then be able to implement them and scale them up. And that's where we are now. We're looking into actually going out there. We've got the operating model established. Now we need to go out and find the solutions. Hence, we're working with the University of Northampton Centre for Sustainable Business Practices to coordinate this next phase and hopefully reach out to the kind of people we've got in our audience today who might just have the solution to help us change the world. And what I might just add finally, before I hand back to you, Max, is, of course, how have we been able to do this? Well, we've been fortunate enough to get a grant from UK Aid through the Sustainable Manufacturing and Environment and Pollution Programme called SMEP, and they have supported us in terms of establishing this operating model and, of course, making the funds available for those solutions that we find. So, yeah, we're ambitious. We want to be able to, of course, find those solutions, but we realise that we can only do it if we work together with others.
And Denzel, one thing that we will not forget is the partners, the collaborators that you've managed to source over and above the likes of University of Northampton, the likes of UK Government Aid. Do you want to just name check some of the companies and trade groups that you've all collectively got involved, please?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks, Max. Yeah, so Waitrose and Partners are our founding partners with Blue Skies. They're on our consortium. We're also working with Prima Fruit, a fruit supplier, of course, as well as HBW, which are a Swiss-based fresh produce company. They've also got operations in Ghana too. And we've also got, as associate members on our consortium, we've got the Fresh Produce Consortium, FPC, which is obviously the trade body for our industry, and with amazing contacts throughout the industry, which is great. We've also got as well joining our consortium, we've got the food people who we were speaking to earlier this week, who've got great contacts around within food innovation, which is fantastic. Nottingham University are going to be joining our consortium as well as associate members. Fantastic to have them on board. And a company called FRESHPPACT, which is a fresh produce company, an agricultural company in Ghana as well. So I've got to make sure. Have I forgotten anyone? Denzel,
I've just had a WhatsApp. Denzel is such a great hero for the fresh produce sector, for everything that he's done in Blue Skies in the UK and internationally. We need more Denzels within the fresh produce sector. So let's just get that out there, so you know what the trade thinks of you. So I'm just going to now segue us over to our illustrious crew from the University of Northampton. I'm slightly laughing a bit because I'm looking at my list of all the names, and we've got 4 doctors and a professor, and I think actually one of them is also duping as an acting professor. So my team said, well, Max, you're not going to be able to hold your own with that intellectual firepower again. So let's see how we get on. But Ebenezer, I mean, we first met when we went to Ghana back in March. Do you want to just give a quick intro on yourself and also why the university's involved? Ebenezer, you go first, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Max. And firstly, let me just co-sign what that viewer posted on WhatsApp in terms of Denzel's supermanness when it comes to his involvement in fantastic things going on in the food sector and in sustainability generally. So my name is Ebenezer Lai. I'm an associate professor at the University of Northampton, and the university has been appointed as the research coordinating and project management partners. And what that means is that we are responsible for coordinating all the research that's going to be involved in this project. And we're also responsible for project managing all of the solutions that we shortlist moving forward. And of course, this is a very, very crucial, important role for us. It's fantastic that we're part of this project. We went on a recent trip to Ghana, which was a fact-finding mission. It was a research trip. Essentially, what we wanted to do with that trip was to really ascertain for ourselves the nature of waste management in Ghana when it comes to plastic specifically. And so it was a fantastic trip. We went over there. We spent about a week, if I'm not too mistaken, with Max. And it was a fantastic trip. We learned a whole lot, and that allowed us to really craft our challenge briefs. And it also, I think, was an education for us, because it really brought us to terms with the true scale of the plastic problem in Ghana, which is a problem that affects other social and economic issues as well. And so we're really happy to have that trip. We're now at a point where we've just issued out our call for proposals, where we're going to start beginning to identify those solutions to the plastic pollution problem and the challenge areas that we've identified. And we're looking forward with a lot of excitement to identifying those solutions and really beginning to put those out for use within the food sector and within other social and economic structures generally.
Ebenezer, well done. I mean, just before we come over to you, I got tasked to look to promote the FRESHPPACT initiative, and very kindly got invited to go out to Ghana with Ebenezer and Min, and we recently released the trip video. I can't remember if I've told you that collectively the trailers and the trip video have already had over 18,000 trade views. So it's just if you haven't seen the video, I'm obviously completely biased, but without Ebenezer, without Min, without Alistair out in Ghana, who's the PR spokesman for the business in Accra in Ghana, without them actually sort of leading the way and giving us the understanding as to what the issues are and where FRESHPPACT could create the solution. To me, that video works so well because it's so tangible. So we'll link it so that you can watch it and just get a really first-person feel, understanding as to the passion, but also the issues within the likes of Ghana and why we need to find the solution. I mean, over to you. What did you want to see out of that trip, and what do you want to see out of FRESHPPACT ongoing, please?
Yeah, hi Max, and thank you. I would like to echo what my colleague Ebenezer just mentioned about the trip. We hear a lot about plastic pollution. You know, these are fantastic polymers, and we use them every day. You know, from my shirt's bottom to you know, mobile phones to cars. You know, we see them everywhere, and they have a lot of use for you know, everyone. But we hear a lot about the pollutions caused by plastic. And when we traveled there, we could see that in reality, you know, the scale of the problem and the need for that change. So I would like to echo what Ebenezer mentioned. You know, we could, you know, see in reality what is really happening in terms of, you know, the amount of plastic that is being produced or generated as a waste, and we don't know what to do with it. So yeah, it was a brilliant trip. It helped us to identify technical criteria and performance criteria informing our challenge briefs. It helped us to focus on specific challenges around mulch, workwear, and packaging. And yeah, we really look forward to seeing some really exciting and viable solutions.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just I'm laughing because we just had a WhatsApp in saying, yeah, the video was great. We also got to saw a Min's legs. So we'll
there you go.
Because it was so hot in there. If anyone's been to Ghana, you'll know that it's always in the 30s, and sometimes you have to get your pegs out on trips like that. So let's go around the rest of the table. Dilshad, over to you. What do you want to see from this, and what's your involvement with FRESHPPACT in the university's context, please? Or just turn your ears on. Turn your ears on. You know that dreaded phrase that we love to say.
I mean, thanks, Max. I think there's a whole host of opportunities here with the university, with FRESHPPACT. I'm just really looking forward to seeing the solutions that are going to be implemented, and you know, to solve a lot of the issues that are being discussed and highlighted by my colleagues. Excellent.
Well done. And again, as I said at the beginning, the sort of firepower that we've got within the likes of Blue Skies, the collaborators and the university. So let's keep moving on that basis. Dr. Uber, over to you. Could you explain what your involvement is and what you want to see from FRESHPPACT, please?
Thanks, Max. Let me start with what I want to see, and then my involvement, because I think both go hand in hand. What I want to see is a change. What I want to see is positive impact in terms of reductions in plastic pollution. As an expert in sustainability, you know, this is very, very important. The scale of the plastic problem is massive. And it's so massive because there are potential negative consequences that we don't fully understand. So, for example, the plastic that ends up in our oceans that could be eaten by the fish that we then consume. There is a lot of research, you know, suggesting that these could have long-term negative problems for us as humans. And so when you look at it from that point of view, you know, addressing plastic pollution is absolutely necessary. And so when I look at it in terms of my contribution and involvement in the project, it's linked to this. It's me being very passionate about, you know, being part of the solution to that problem. And it's not just me, it's a collective effort. And that's where us as a team of researchers from the Center of Sustainable Business Practices, you know, these are the sort of things that we are really interested in, because we can bring in the research capabilities and we by bringing in and pulling together everything that we can bring to bear, we, collectively hope to, to bring positive change to perhaps one of the biggest problems that we face currently.
Well done. And just on that side, just to reiterate, if you're dialed in onto Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter, and if you've got questions for the experts, fire them in, and I'll ask them over. And I've got a number of questions from people that can't make today, but they wanted to post the questions. Dr. Uber, just back to you on a negative point that was brought up to me earlier on the basis of this broadcast. We're about to potentially go into not only a UK, but a world recession, and people are going to be struggling just to make ends meet. Is there a fear that the likes of sustainability is going to be pushed aside whilst people just major on surviving, which is actually going to exacerbate the problem? What do you think? Is this a worry, or could we actually turn that perceived negative comment into a positive solution, so that we can actually accelerate the change that we all want to see? What do you think?
You see, the good thing about the sort of what we are doing is, hopefully along the line we will get to the point where we've got alternatives to plastic that in themselves are also commercially viable, in the sense that they are not too expensive for the end consumer. I get that logic where people say that adopting sustainable practices, then is likely going to be a lot more expensive than what we currently have. Perhaps that is true. If you look at it in terms of where we are at that stage where we are making the transition from one way of doing things onto the other. But there is hope, because over time, with the sort of initiative we have with FRESHPPACT, technologies are going to develop, and we will get to that point where our alternatives are also commercially viable and cheap enough for people. Those concerns are there, but we also need to think about what sustainability is all about. It's long term. I guess that perhaps it would make sense to, even if we have to make some sacrifices now, to get to that point where we have a good future for ourselves and for the people coming behind us, the next generation.
Yeah, well said. You can't. This is economically. It always goes in cycles. You just have to look at history. It is just a short-term cycle, but on the long-term basis, we have to fix this issue of plastic and sustainability. So if anything, I can never work out if it's actually the correct phrase to use, or if you're allowed to use it. Never waste a crisis. So surely, if anything, we can use this situation to make sure that we are looking to eradicate the use of plastic as much as possible and accelerate the use of other methods. And that's where FRESHPPACT comes in. Shay, over to you. What are your thoughts on FRESHPPACT? What do you want to see from it, please?
Thank you very much, Max. To buttress what Dr. Chi was saying, Dr. Uba was saying, I think I read online some weeks back, or probably was a presentation, that an average human being eats an equivalent of an ID card, in form of plastic every year. And I think looking at that impact in itself, that's to our health. But looking at FRESHPPACT, some of the solutions that we're going to be seeing are going to be creating jobs as well, and this would definitely help people to weather the recession better. But as FRESHPPACT is, I'm actually the project manager at the University of Northampton for this for the implementation of this project, and I think one of the things I'm actually looking forward to, apart from the research aspect, which is very important, is also the practicality of the solutions that are going to be submitted. So I'm looking forward to receiving those together with the team. We'll be looking forward to receiving those solutions, and those solutions that contribute positively to the social and to our social lives, and also to economic and also environmental life as well, or the environment around us. So yeah, I think for me it's a really exciting project, and I think looking forward, we hope to influence positive change, both here in the UK and all around the world, in Ghana, where the solutions are going to be implemented in the first instance.
Yeah, Shay, well done. Sometimes you need to bring the dead cat onto the table, and I'm just going to do that this on a Friday afternoon. I have a friend who's a pathologist, and he says that when he first started out, people who'd passed on, they had to do something, so it's a bit morbid, but people who had passed on, they had to do something relatively quickly in the respect of putting them into a refrigerator. Now, because we've got so much preservatives in us, because there's so much preservative in food, that a dead body will be in existence for 2 to 3 weeks longer than they were 10 years ago. And so that plastic example that you've got, it's not just plastic, it's everything else that we're consuming. So sorry for the dead cat statement, but just to emphasize that fact that we've got such a major problem, but again, it can be fixed. Okay, so let's park back my dead cat. I'm now going to use my Amazon analogy. Amazon, if you ever buy anything on Amazon, there's nowhere on that site is there anything like a telephone number. If you ever manage to phone someone from Amazon, they are under the understanding that they failed, because it's like a dummy's guide for shopping. Amazon, it just helps you all the way, and that's what we want to get from this Q&A, as to hold your hand as to how to make the applications. But you're actually going to talk to live people, and you can see the passion that we've got with our group, whether it be from the university or with Denzel from FRESHPPACT. So I just want to walk through how we go through this process. So let's start from basics. How do people submit an application? So let's go, hands up, who wants to take that one on, and let's roll through this process so we can hold the hand of people who wants to make an application. Who's going for that one, please?
Amin's hands up.
Yeah, Amin.
Go on, Amin.
Yeah, thanks, Max. I think the process is very straightforward for parties or individuals out there who are interested to submit a solution. They would need to go onto our website, freshpact2p.org, look for challenges, and then to make the submissions through the website. So the submissions will be online, and the process is pretty straightforward. In the previous webinar, we walked through that process, but again, it's not too dissimilar from other submissions that researchers make when it comes to submitting a proposal or submitting a bid.
Yeah. Okay. Is it very bureaucratic? Shay, I'm just going to bounce around you. On if I'm asking the right person, great. If not, just bounce over to one of your colleagues. I'm picking on Shay. Shay, is it very bureaucratic? There's a number of people I know that I've just got to name them. The likes of Innovate UK, they're fantastic, but it's a real heartache sometimes to go through the procedure. Is this fairly straightforward? Shay, what do you think?
Yeah, I believe this is a very straightforward process. The way the solution sourcing and submission has been designed has been online, which is going to make it very easy for
my Amazon model.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be easy for submitters to submit. We also have our email in case you have any questions relating to the submission. Just go, send an email to us at changetheword@freshppact.org, freshpact with double P. To submit solution, as Amin said earlier, just go to the website, open an account in your name, and go through the submission process depending on which challenge your solution is going to solve. There are about 5 or 6 stages that you're going to go through. Fill them in. There's a lot of indications as to what you should do and how you should fill those forms. So it's relatively straightforward. Once you submit your solutions, it's going to go through a 3-stage process, and the stages that your solution is going to be in at each process is going to be reflected on your account. So you're going to see how, what's going on at any particular point in time regarding where the stage of your solution is in terms of evaluation. So we've made it very, very easy, seamless to go through, and looking forward to seeing you.
What I say, it sounds easier than shopping on Amazon. Here's an interesting one, Dr. Uber. If I'm looking to apply, can I make multiple applications, or is it just one application per applicant, per organisation? Or just turn your ears on. Just turn your ears on. We want everyone on the podcast to definitely hear you.
Yeah, I'll keep the answer short, simple. The answer is yes. The website allows you to submit one solution per challenge, right? However, if you would like to, make any other additional submissions, if you want to submit an additional solution, you contact us using the changetheworld@freshpact.org email. So yes is the answer to the question.
Yeah, and being serious, it's not like the national lottery. It's not like if I buy 20 tickets instead of 10, I've got more chance of getting in. You're only going to look at credible applications. Dr. Uber, would that be correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And look at it this way. Let's say someone has got two very, very good innovative ideas. Why limit them to the possibility of submitting only one?
Yeah, exactly. But well done. And the assessment, Dilshad, how would the assessment work? Can you walk us through that, please?
Yeah, thanks, Max. So solutions will be assessed in a 3-stage process. And then we look at, well, they are done quite rigorously, just to highlight that. And we and in that sense, we eliminate any bias. But yeah, we have a 3-stage process. We have a panel that looks at the solutions, and from there we have a criteria where we mark down what and we actually look at the solutions in terms of those criterions as a panel to omit bias. But I'll hand over to Ebenezer, if you can just add to that, please, Ebenezer. Thank you.
Well done.
Yes, thanks so much, Dilshad. Yeah, so as Dilshad was saying, of course, we've got a process. So we're going to go through what's called an initial screening process, just to make sure that obviously all the solutions that have been submitted are actually relevant to the call for proposals. And so obviously this allows us to count solutions in, but also count solutions out at the very early stage if they're not relevant to the call for proposals. And then of course this goes on to the next stage. And of course, within the steps following that initial screening process, we've got what we call the solution evaluation group. That's going to look at the solutions. This includes external, obviously, people who have expertise, both in the academic and practitioner world and within industry as well, who are also going to be having a look at these solutions. And then we've got something called the selection panel that has a further look. And so all these things put together, all these processes put together, will produce a short list of those selected final solutions that we carry forward.
It sounds like a very professional and thorough process to help the right, if it's the right word, the right candidates to be part of this. I've got this idea. How we can save the world from plastic. Will you take my idea on? I've got this conceptual idea. Will you look under the scheme of conceptual ideas, or does it have to have a bit more meat on the bone?
Yeah, thanks, Max. Just to answer your question, I would like to add to what my colleagues Ebenezer and Dilshad were saying about those 3-stage process. So these 3 stages are working independently in order to minimize any conflict of interest, or as mentioned, any bias that may exist in the process of scoring and shortlisting the solutions. In the initial screening stage of this review process, one of the criteria that we look at is the technology readiness level, the TRL level. Some of the academics are familiar with that, and some of my practitioner colleagues were watching as well. And again, we are looking for a TRL level of 6 or higher, and that means that conceptual ideas would not necessarily be viable for this particular sort of funding stream that we have. And the reason for that is we are looking for something that has been tested, has reached a stage that can be tested, can be piloted, and can be commercialized. So we are not going to go through the entire life cycle of that innovation from the conceptual idea, because that may take quite a long time. So the answer would be no. If it is a conceptual idea, it needs to become more mature, and once it reaches that TRL level of 6 or above, for technology demonstration and above for commercialization, then that would be a fantastic idea to be submitted to FRESHPPACT.
Okay, I've just had a WhatsApp. Could I have a bit more understanding as to what Tier 6 looks like? I'm not from academia, but I've got a potential application I want to put through. What does Tier 6 look like? And then can you just hold our hand and sort of, I don't know, visualize it for us?
So we were talking about a scale of, a scale up to 9, if I'm correct. So TRL stands for technology readiness level. The lower the TRL, the more conceptual the idea is. So it's a conceptual analysis, a feasibility analysis of an idea, and so on. And the higher you go towards this TRL scale, you're getting closer to the actual innovation, closer to the innovation that is going to be implemented within a context. So TRL level 6 and above, we are talking about technology demonstration and above. So a technology that to some extent has been tested, has been developed and tested, but it can, it would require further tests or pilots until it gets to that commercialization and launch, or diffusion within the market.
Got it. Shay, do I have to pay for my application?
No, we do not charge anything to submit your applications. You just go to the website, open an account, submit, and your application goes through. No payments necessary.
That unlike Amazon.
Yeah.
And what about? Are we just looking locally at this? Simon's based in beautiful Northampton. Are we just looking for applications from a 25 kilometre radius of Denzel's offices in Pittsford and Northampton, or would you look at some international applications? Ebenezer.
Yes, thanks, Max. So, obviously, we're not restricting submitters in any way when it comes to sort of geography. So we're open to receive submissions from anywhere in the world, really. But of course, we must stress that what we're looking for are solutions that can be applied on the ground in Ghana. And as Amin said, of course, the technology readiness level also needs to be taken into account. We're looking for something that's at a stage where it can be rolled out and is ready to do so. So yeah, we're not limiting ourselves in terms of geography when it comes to receiving submissions. Yep,
and likewise the initiative, the solution that this individual is looking to create, that could be deployed anywhere. Our example was Ghana. Again, we're not just being parochial to the UK. Ebenezer, help me with that one, please.
Yeah, so for this particular funding stream, one obviously of the purposes of the funding stream is to come up with solutions that can be applied on the ground in Ghana. That doesn't mean that, of course, whatever solutions, whatever technology that we're able to produce as a result of this project won't be applied or won't have the ability to be applied elsewhere. It could be, but the primary focus is that we come up with something that we can apply on the ground in Ghana.
Right, understood. Okay, and then just go to the basics of the application. I'm sure you all had this situation when you were doing your various doctorates, that you hand your major thesis in and you think, oh, I wish I'd put that in. With the application, are you able to amend the application when it's already in, just in case you come across another idea or there's another collaborating partner involved? Dilshad, over to you. Could we amend the application once it's already presented in?
Well, there's opportunity throughout to save your application, but once it's submitted, you can't make changes to it.
Okay, so I've got to put it into my language. It is a bit like putting in an application. Once it's done, locked and loaded, it's done. So you've got to get it right to first time. But just to extrapolate that, if I was lucky enough to gain funding for my solution, and we're 3 months, 6 months down the line, and we find that there's actually a little bit of a twist that we need to do to get the results that we want, would there be flexibility there if we declare that to you?
You could email changetheworld@freshppact.org and get a solution, get a response from the team in terms of what the requests are. But we are open to having a look at that. But once an application is submitted, that's it. It's submitted.
Got it. Okay, understood. Dr. Uber, I need support. Good grief, do I need support? But technical support. Once an application has has gone in. Well, actually pre the application, if I wanted to just get a bit of guidance as to, I want to present it like this. Is this the right thing I should be doing? Will there be technical support pre me presenting the application? Dr. Huber, what do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Again and again, another very, very simple direct response. We've got that dedicated email, right? So
Yeah.
change change the world at freshpack.org. If any submitter, along the line has any technical issues, we strongly encourage them to email us. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
And we'll assist you.
Dr. Huber, thank you. So if I apply for the National Lottery tonight, I can either go in with my scratch card and find out if I've won or not. With this, but in seriousness, with FRESHPPACT, once I've put in my submission, how do I find out whether I've been successful or not? Shay, over to you, please. How do I find out if my application's been successful?
Thank you very much, Max. So once as I said earlier, when your solution is submitted, it's go through that 3-stage process, and you have to see where your solution is in the process. The same thing would happen if your solution is successful. It's going to appear on your account, and you will be duly noted about the next steps once we've given the information to you that your solution has been successful.
Got it. Okay, and just continuing that theme, if I've got a problem submitting my application online, can I do it on a manual basis? I can't get my order through Amazon. I can't phone them up. If I have the same issue, it might be that where I am based, I just don't have good internet connection. Yesterday we were talking to South Africa and they're having lots of power outages. If we need another solution to get the application in, like old-fashioned snail mail post, is it possible to post it over? Shay, what do you think?
We've streamlined the process to be an online process, which is also going to make it easy for us to evaluate the process, because some of this evaluation is going to be done online. So we strongly, not strongly, but we encourage submitters to take advantage of the online process, which makes it easy for everyone to, makes everyone around the world to submit their solutions, and also in a very cheap way. Other solutions could be more expensive or more unwieldy. So please, as much as possible, let's try and do it online. Thank you.
Yeah, well done. I mean, what if I've submitted my application and because of work levels or changes within my business, I want to withdraw my application? Would that be okay? And would there be any implications if I did look to withdraw my application?
Yeah, thanks, Max. I think the answer is straightforward. Is drop us an email and explain and provide the reasons for withdrawing your application, and we can do that for you. Of course, the answer is yes. Okay,
and everyone, I get the feeling this is I sort of set this up as it sort of feels like an exam. It's not an exam. You want to find the solutions, but you've got to go through a due process to make sure that you're doing everything correctly your end, because we are talking about a large amount of money here, and we want to create the success for everyone involved. Ebenezer, there will be that, and I know we said it, but just to reiterate it, there will be that support through the application process, and once an award has been awarded, there will be that ongoing support, ongoing. Ebenezer, would that be correct?
Yes, that's absolutely right, Max. There will be ongoing support, and of course, the issue of technical support was raised earlier, right? I'm sure that there might be some people who are watching and listening to us who have looked at our challenge briefs, and they've looked at the technical requirements, and they're thinking, gee, I'm not sure what to make of this. So we're going to have additional webinars. So obviously today we're having a Q&A webinar. Our next webinar is actually a technical webinar where we're going to have breakout rooms which align with the 3 challenge areas, where you'll be able to obviously get to grips with the technical detail, the technical information related to a given challenge area, and we think that's going to be very, very good and relevant, because it's going to help people to develop a better understanding of the technical requirements that we're looking for in terms of the solutions, but also some of the technical challenges involved with the challenge briefs as well. And so that will help, I think, all submitters to have the information, have the knowledge to better craft their proposals. And in addition to that, of course, with those proposals that are selected in the end, we will provide that continued support going forward.
Excellent. And I've just had a WhatsApp in that's probably best directed to Denzel. Very interested in FRESHPPACT. We don't want to make an application, but we want to support the process in the short and the long term. How do we get involved as a partner, as a collaborative partner? Denzel.
You can join us as associate members, so please do get in touch. We welcome any opportunity to collaborate with any other organisations, whether it's helping us in terms of getting the message out there, or helping us to identify potential organisations that can give us those solutions, or just giving us general guidance and advice. We really welcome that. So please get in touch. Again, we've mentioned it a number of times, the email address, and actually I would emphasise, really do get in touch if you've got any questions or concerns about the whole process in general, including you need any additional information that's maybe not on the challenge briefs. So you want to find out a bit more information about the current use or application of the plastics we're talking about. What plastics, for instance, are Blue Sky is currently using? What in packaging with trays? You want to know a bit more about the specification. You want to know a bit more about the manufacturing lines to give you some idea of the kind of solutions which could potentially work there, or maybe which won't work there. So please do, if you need more information, if you need advice about the process, if you want to get in touch about joining the consortium as either full members or as associate members, or you just need technical support, or there was a question earlier about maybe you don't have good access to the internet. How do you submit an application? We do encourage people to use the online system, but just do get in touch, because we want to make it easy for people, and we want to help people where they stumble into problems. So get in touch, use the email. We're happy to help.
Denzel, well done. I'm just going to go off on a slight segue, but you'll see my point. There's this amazing initiative in Holland called the Dutch Diamond, where there's a lovely virtuous circle between education, government and industry, where they look to support each other, and that's why especially the horticultural sector in Holland has been so successful. For Blue Skies, who've gone through so much in previous years, with Denzel, help me, whether it be the ash storm, if you remember that, whether it be the likes of COVID, whether it be the likes of the complication of running multiple sites globally, for Blue Skies to put their time and energy not to the immediate benefits, whether that be hard cash, but because they want to make a difference, is such an alluring thing. We've all got to support and create our own little Dutch diamond within the UK, and hence why this great relationship with the University of Northampton and the Centre for Sustainable Business Practices is so key. So if we've got the likes of Blue Skies and other collaborative partners within the fresh produce sector or trade partners, and this amazing team from the University of Northampton. We won't talk about the government at the moment, because they're a bit busy with other things to do. But actually, perhaps we don't need them, because we can create the success that FRESHPPACT is going to do with the likes of these partners. So everyone, I suppose the halcyon call is that FRESHPPACT is up and running. You can see the weight, the momentum, the intellectual firepower, the financial might that's behind it. You need to get involved, either by putting in your application, or, as Des and I would just say, by becoming a partner with FRESHPPACT to make this a success. Make this a success for everyone involved. Just going to hand it back to Ebenezer. Ebenezer, as we wind up, on behalf of yourself and your colleagues, is there anything that you want to top and tail on the back of this Q&A session, please?
Yes. So thanks, Max. On behalf of all my colleagues, I just want to say thank you for everyone for tuning in, and I just want to say that the world is in big trouble in terms of our environment, and sustainability is the answer. We can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. And of course, just as we were talking about earlier, Max, in a world where it seems as though we need to ditch all the efforts that we're doing to become more sustainable in our business practices and in our lives, so that we can survive, whilst that temptation may be very, very, very attractive. Of course, it's not going to help us, because of course it will put us in the same position that we are now in the future. And if you think about all the things that in the world at the moment that are driving sort of the very high cost of living and economic pressures that we're dealing with at the moment, you would come to the conclusion that they wouldn't be there if we had developed a much more sustainable way of life. So things would have been much different. And so sustainability is the answer. So what we're trying to do with FRESHPPACT is, to really help edge us all closer towards that sustainable future. And we're focusing on plastics now. So if you've got a solution, we want to hear from you. We want you to join us. If you haven't got a solution, but you're thinking, gee, this is so inspiring, so motivating, I want to be part of it, join us as associate members. Let us hold our hands together, put our hands on the arc of history, and bend it towards a brighter tomorrow.
Excellent. For everyone on the podcast, Ebenezer just disappeared 2 foot below his screen because the Earth moved. Because even the Earth wants to join in to join FRESHPPACT to discover the solution and change the world. Everyone, just before we wrap up, do you want to say anything else for all those listening on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, or shall we look to prosper and shall we look to push forward with FRESHPPACT and change the world? Any other comments, anyone?
One thing I would say is that obviously with FRESHPPACT, we are just looking for those solutions that are at a particular TRL level, as we've discussed. But we're also open, if there are any ideas, if you do sort of, maybe have the seed of an idea, or somebody who might, please just let us know. Obviously, don't go to the effort of submitting a full proposal, but drop us an email, or if you go to the FRESHPPACT website, you can join the conversation. We're setting up some discussion forums for each of the challenge funds, so that we can just consider any ideas. Maybe it might be the seed of something that's already in development that we can look into. I think there are no wrong answers here. We just want to make sure that we're keeping our eyes open to all the potential ideas out there.
Yeah, well done. Shay, over to you. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, thank you very much, Max. So, moving forward, I think one of the ways that you can keep up with some of the activities and updates is to join us on social media. On Twitter, it's at FRESHPPACT with a double P, and on LinkedIn, we're also present and active. It's the Fresh Produce Impact Hub, the Fresh Produce Impact Hub on LinkedIn, and at FRESHPPACT on Twitter.
Excellent. Well done, everyone. Okay, so we're all going to push on. We're going to push this message out. As Denzel said earlier, or might have been Ebenezer, we've got a technical broadcast coming up in August, and you'll be able to follow that on social media and sign up for that. Everyone, you've been working so hard. I'm going to give you the afternoon off, but with one proviso. You're going to go home. And whether it be by yourself or your family, you're going to have one piece of fresh produce that you're going to enjoy this afternoon, because we'd love to know what that fresh produce is going to be. Dr. Uber, let's start with you, please. What would be the fresh produce of choice for you on a Friday afternoon to chill out, to relax with, please?
Oh, again, very interesting, easy answer. Have you ever tasted the Blue Skies pineapple fresh juice? The best. It's chilled on a hot afternoon like this. That would be my number one choice.
Fantastic. Amin, over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to echo the same thing. Pineapple and ginger. I loved it. The Blue Skies brand, of course.
Yes, we need to get a tanker, Denzel, sent over.
Yeah.
Over here on that. Dilshad, what would be your thing of choice?
Behind you, what's on your screen actually? Mangoes.
Oh yes, especially mango from Ghana. Again, if it's come from Blue Skies, we can all see where this is going. Shay, what would be your thing, please?
The pineapple and ginger. I couldn't get enough of it when we went to Ghana, but I'll be interested in the coconut as well. Just right.
Excellent. Ebenezer.
Yeah, a good tub of Blue Skies ice cream, I think, on a hot day like this would do well. Together with some mangoes and some pineapple and ginger. I
He's
think
not greedy, is he?
Why not have it all, Max? Why not have it all?
Denzel, send a lorry over. Denzel, wrap up for us. What would you have on this Friday afternoon to chill out with, please?
I would have smooth KN pineapple. It's got to be the smooth KN variety. It's I've just come from Ghana and was just at a smooth KN pineapple farm on what day was it? Wednesday, I think it was on Wednesday morning. And it grows naturally in Ghana, as does the sugarloaf pineapple. Also recommend that one as well. It's got a white flesh, but it's particularly nice and sweet. But with the smooth KN pineapple, of course, it's my favorite variety, but of course we do have to solve the problem, which is that it uses this plastic mulch to retain the moisture and keep out weeds. So it will obviously ensure that I remember that we've got to go out and solve that problem, so I can keep enjoying this particular variety of pineapple.
Well done, Denzel. So we've all got our personal choices. I'm with Dilshad. I'm going with the mango. Yeah, but if we adopt FRESHPPACT to lessen the impact that we're making on the world and to make a better world and to improve everyone's health, let's go for the solution that is FRESHPPACT. Everyone, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you on the next broadcast on the technical elements of FRESHPPACT later in the month of August. Keep cool, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.